Hey, I'm Bruce Naylor, and you know me as Frugal Tech. And one of the things I love to do is I love to help you guys make money, and particularly in the IT industry. So I thought I would make this short class to give you some ideas on what to take into consideration when you're looking to figure out how much to bill your clients per hour in order to not only make a living, but also to have and grow a successful business. And maybe if you get a few things out of this, you'll be on your way to having a profitable company. I have talked to a number of people over the years who wanted to become IT consultants. And I'll talk to them a little bit about what the rate's going to be. And too many times they're starting the business to replace a job that they lost, which is fine. And they also have the idea, if I can be a little bit cheaper, then I'll get more business and I'll make a lot of money, and things will go well. And I'll say, well, what do you consider a lot of money? $50 an hour. $60 an hour. It's great money. And I kind of sit back and I go, let's talk. let's talk. So you think you can charge $60 an hour? Is that right? $50 an hour. Let's just use $50 an hour. Yeah. He goes, think about it. I work all week, $50 an hour. That's at 40 hours a week. That's $2,000 a week. I'll make over $100,000 a year being an IT consultant. Okay. And you're going to be doing what specifically? Well, I'm going to be doing operating system installs. I'm going to cleaning up viruses, fixing broken hard drives, working on broken laptops. I'm going to be doing all this cool stuff. And it's going to work out great. Okay. And then I say, let's talk. let's talk. So I'm going to talk to you in this video just like I would talk to that person. And there's one thing I want to make very clear right up front about this video. We are in the business, in the IT industry. Typically, you either deal with consumers or you deal with businesses. So let's get a few things out of the way first. First off, I like to make money. There's no reason you can't help people and not live well. If you have an issue with charging for your services and making a good living at it, then this is not the video for you. Now, God love you. If you want to help people, and that's fine. But the IT business is truly based upon money, and I'll explain why in just a minute. Now, I will tell you, I am not a fan of doing consulting in the consumer space. And the reason I am not a fan of that is because most consumers look at a computer as an expense. And rightfully so. It is indeed an expense. It's an entertainment device. Maybe they do homework on it. Maybe they do work on it and do a little, bring a little work from, home and work on it on their computer, whatever. But it is essentially a luxury item, something that, they spend money on, but they don't really see a return on. Therefore, when people are in the business of repairing those systems and they start quoting billable hours that is sufficient to make to have a profitable IT consulting business, these people get really squeamish and they start shopping around to find the guy that does it part-time or the friend of the family that works on computers in exchange for dinner or something like that. It's, in my mind, a race to the bottom. That's all I'm going to say about in the consumer space on that. I'm interested in the business side of things, and I'll tell you why. Because when companies look to spend money on technology, these companies are in business to make money, right? They're in business to make money. So they understand the concept of return on investment. If you come to them and if you provide services for them that in exchange gives them a return on their investment, they have no problem paying the fee in order for you to have this successful consulting business. If you're going there and you're putting in new servers, maybe you're setting up, Hyper-V servers, you're doing stuff with backup and data disaster recovery, You're doing stuff with Exchange. You're setting up workstations. You're doing network drops. You're putting in phone systems, PBXs. You're doing all this stuff. They expect to make a return on that investment. If they spend, let's say you get a $20,000 contract with a business to put in, because again, I come from the CRM world. I already have a class out on CRM. They spend, $20,000, $30,000 with you on a CRM system. They expect to make that money back fairly quickly and make even more. So you can command the kind of money from businesses that you wouldn't get from the consumer market. All right. So we got that mindset going on. When somebody says, if I make, charge $50 an hour, I'm going to make $100,000 a year, I have to laugh. And the reason I laugh is because it's simply not possible to work 40 hours a week consulting. Maybe it would happen once in a blue moon. You got a super packed week. But for the most part, you're going to have slow periods. You're going to you still have to have time to do marketing, right? To get new customers in the door. You got to have time to do your accounting. God knows I spend an inordinate amount of time on QuickBooks, just paying vendors, tracking receivables, dealing with taxes, all that stuff takes time. So I got to do marketing, I got to do accounting, and I still have to do things like study and keep up to date on the latest technologies and latest trends. And that takes time. When I had my gold mine consulting practice out in Phoenix, I devoted one day a week just to keeping up with the marketing, the accounting, and spending time taking tests, getting certified, and things like Microsoft products, etc. One day a week I devoted to that. That was 8 hours a week that I was not out consulting. When you're also working in the field, you also have to think about the time that it takes to get from your office to the client. When does the meter start for you? If you're not charging for that time, leaving the office to your client's office, back to your office or to your next appointment, then essentially a job that you billed an hour for might be 2 hours. Instead of making $50 an hour, you made $25 an hour. Here's my point. When you work for somebody else and they pay you a salary, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year, they expect you to earn at least 3 times that amount for them. You should treat it no differently. I was talking to a friend not too long ago, and I said, what have you been doing these days? He goes, I am an entrepreneur. Fantastic. You're making money while you're not there, while you're sleeping. Well, no. Well, that's what entrepreneurs do. They don't have to be there at the business to make money. They make money when they're asleep. They make money if they're on vacation. Doesn't matter. That's what entrepreneurs do. So you own a business. Well, yeah. And how profitable is your business? Oh, I'm making, $60,000 a year. Well, is that pretty much what your salary was from the company you worked at before? Well, I'm making just a little less, but I'm my own boss. Wonderful. You don't have a business. What you've done is replaced your job. And you're not even making quite as much as you did before. What are you doing for health insurance? Well, we don't have any yet. How about disability coverage? No, don't have that. What are you doing for your 401k? I don't really have the funds to fund a 401k right now. Wow. Do you get guaranteed amount of money to take a vacation? No, don't get that either. You have all this risk. You have all this work, and you're not getting any of the return. You've created a job for yourself that has no benefits, right? It has no benefits, no retirement, no insurance, no paid vacations, and you've recreated that. Let's talk very seriously about what you should be charging, what you should be doing. Now, so there's things that you have to take in consideration. So you have a salary. What's a good salary in this day and age? Hell, I can't answer that question for you. That's not the purpose of this class, is teach you what a good salary is. But let's pull out a number so at least we have something to work with. And I'm going to pull out a number, and I'm going to say $100,000 a year. That's a 6-figure income. That used to be a hell of a lot of money. 20 years ago, $100,000 a year, you lived really, really, really well. Now you're living, but you're not doing as great as what you used to be able to. Any less, and you're just maybe getting by. It's a shame, but that's what it is. You're just getting by. I mean, we live in an era where, an average family sedan is like $30,000. Not to mention the cost of school, groceries, utilities, houses, etc. $100,000, but we're going to use that figure of $100,000 a year. That sounds great. That's more money than I ever made in my life, $100,000. But that money is not all yours to keep. So we have a couple things that we're dealing with. One, you can only bill so many hours a year. How many billable hours do you think you're going to get a year? Well, I want to work 40 hours a week. You're not going to do that. You're going to have busy periods, and you're going to have really, really slow periods where you may only have 10 or 15 hours. You may only have 5 hours one week. You may have 35 the next. You may have 18 the next. You may have 27 the week after that. My point being, when I was doing it, it worked out. I could relatively count on about 20 hours a week. 20, which means that you really got to bill at least $100 an hour in order to make that $100,000 a year. You can't work 52 weeks a year. You need a vacation like anybody else. You'll burn yourself out. You need at least 2 weeks a year for vacation time and holidays that you won't be consulting. So you need to build that into your hourly rate. But you're also self-employed. The government doesn't like you when you're self-employed. They like you in one way, and they bend you over another. All right? Because you have what's called self-employment tax. See, when you work for somebody else, they're paying a portion of your Social Security and Medicare for you. They're paying it. When you work for yourself, you pay your portion and the employer's portion both, about 15% plus in this day and age. And that comes right out of your money. But you still don't have a retirement. What are you going to do about that? You're not going to be able to be consulting when you're 80 years old. At least I wouldn't think so. So you need to have a plan to put some money back for retirement. All right, so you need a contribution for your 401k, your IRA, whatever investment vehicles you use. So you got to have that money as well. Question, what if you were, you got sick, right? You got really sick and were down on your back for a month or two. What would happen to your business then? I don't know. What would you do for a check to pay the mortgage and to buy groceries and all that? What would you do? I don't know. Well, that's what long-term disability insurance is for. And you need to have it. And guess what? You got to pay a premium every month to get that. So you need to add that disability coverage in addition to your salary. So you get $100,000 a year salary. You've got some money to contribute to a 401k or IRA. You've got disability coverage. This is on top of that. All right? So you've got these things. Now, you've also got a business to run. You want to grow your business, right? How much does it cost you to acquire a new customer? Right? I don't really know. You need to know your numbers. You need to know what it costs to acquire a new customer. So let's say that you got to run ads or whatever you got to do to get new business in the door. Maybe it costs you $300, $500 to acquire each new customer. So you need to have that money to pay that. You got your phone, you got to pay for that. You got your office expenses, right? So that is stacked on top of your salary. All this is on top of your salary. Every nickel of it. So suddenly, you're instead of working 40 hours a week at $50 an hour, right? You're suddenly talking about working 20 hours a week for $100, $150 an hour. And then you will begin to have something. But there's one other point that I want to make. See, if you're starting for replacing a job, whenever somebody says I'm starting a business to replace a job, I beg them, please try to find another job that will pay you a similar amount rather than taking on all the risk of being a business owner. Believe me, you won't regret that. But if you're starting a business, I want you to understand a concept here, that there's the legitimate reasons to start a business is normally for two different reasons. One is to create a legacy, something you can pass down to your family that has real quantitative value. And the second is that perhaps one day you can sell to help fund your retirement or start another business venture. And an investor, somebody looking to buy your company, is not going to attribute much value to your business based on the salaries that you paid. All right. What they're looking at is the retained earnings, what the net earnings of that company is. And that means you need to be profitable. Profit. So in addition to your salary, your overhead, your taxes, your retirement, your insurance, your vacations, disability insurance, etc., you should also build in some profit to the company. Use that profit to do things like fund a rainy day fund in case you have a quarter or 6 months where it gets slow. It happens to anybody and everybody. But you're saying, Bruce, I can't command $150, $200 an hour. Let me tell you something. Like I said, when I did the CRM thing, there were times I was commanding over $300 an hour billing out. Why? Because I had very specialized knowledge, but more importantly, I offered a solution that gave a return on investment to the company who had no problem paying the money because they knew they were going to make it back. You must have the skills that these companies are willing to pay the kind of money that you require to have a profitable IT consulting business. So that's what I did. I marketed and I acquired those skills. Now, being very good with VMware or Hyper-V is a good thing. Being Cisco certified is a good thing. Knowing how to do networking infrastructure, that's valuable. Network security, the space I'm currently in, pays very, very well, right? Going in and cleaning up a virus on a computer doesn't pay so well. Being the guy that prevents it from happening pays really, really, really well. Because network security is a huge thing and it's only getting bigger. Every time I see a data breach, I kind of smile. Because I know that that's more awareness, that creates more awareness how important network security is in my particular case. I know that CRM, for example, is poised to be a $27 billion a year business. You want part of that action, see? You want to be where the money is going. You want to be there where that profit is to be made. What you don't want to do is be in that race to the bottom that happens with so many people, especially in the consumer space or in the business of flipping people, over to low-cost hardware type of stuff. You just don't really want to be in that space. You want to be the guy or the gal that goes in and says, here's a solution that's going to save you $5,000 a month. This is a solution that's going to keep it's going to keep your business up and running should, these servers fail out. This is what I'm in the business of. I'm in the business of offering solutions. I'm in the business of getting you a return on that investment. That's what I do. And here's the skills that I got. And don't be afraid to charge for them. That's the thing. Too many people really, truly believe I just can't bring myself to bill $150 an hour. Why would you be afraid to do that? You're worth it. You deserve it. The cheap guys go away. See, they don't stay in business. This is what I'm trying to tell you in the very beginning when I talk to these guys, that they're going to go into this business. A year or two later, they're working somewhere. They're working in a factory somewhere. It didn't work out. Why? Because it was a race to the bottom. They made no money. They didn't understand that at best they were creating themselves a fairly low-paying job with unreliable income, not knowing how many hours a week, not being all over the place. You cannot compete on price. What you have to do is compete on your skills. And don't be afraid to bill appropriately for them. You must bill out for them. Look, when I go into a business, I know they're in business to make money. Right? And that's what the IT industry runs on cash. So if you don't like money and you don't think you deserve $150, $200 an hour for what you do, fine, God love you, but you won't be able to have a business that will support you and your family in a way. You want to be poor? Okay, that's very noble of you. For you guys out there that want to make money and you want to help companies, get a great return on your investment, then this video is for you. But there are things to keep in mind when you have your own IT consulting company that's very, very important. What we should be billing for is a reasonable amount of time that you'll be consulting every week for 50 weeks of the year instead of 52. That's one. Understand that you're replacing a salary. You're trying to make a good living, not just getting by. You deserve that because you work really, really, really hard. So you're entitled not to live into poverty. You really have to have benefits. You really got to have health insurance. You really got to have a retirement somewhere down the road. You really got to have coverage in case you get hurt or sick and can't work. You need this stuff. You need to take a little bit of time off. You need to also market to grow your business. You got to deal with accounting, unfortunately, until you have people on payroll. Then the situation even gets more intense. So you got to have that time. Plus, you got to keep investing yourself. You know the IT world is constantly changing. We're constantly learning new skills, hopefully valuable skills that we can command $150, $200 an hour billable time. That's what you want to be doing. You need to keep all that in mind. And then you have to have a profit for your company in order to be attractive to sell someday. And that is the purpose of making this video. When you do those things and you're good at what you do and you do good work, you're going to have a profitable IT company and you will not be the cheapest guy in town. You don't want to be part of the race to the bottom. That's for suckers. That's a sucker's bet. If the only thing you have to compete on is price, right? Then you've got nothing at all. You won't make money. Why just go get a job somewhere else, even if you got to relocate, rather than taking all this risk? So keep these things in mind when you're figuring out billable hours. The benefits, the salary, the profit, the time that I can consult versus the time that I won't be able to consult, vacations, holidays, a profit for the business, and the skills and the market that will allow me to command the hourly rate to make all that happen. And when you put all that together, then you have the basis of a profitable IT consulting business. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I can't wait to hear from you in the comments down below. I'll talk to you later.